Second down and 7. Gonna throw. Lynn's got a man over the middle. It's Canada Freeze. Makes a move inside the 20. Into the 10. Touchdown. Canada Freeze. Welcome to Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, as always, presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard, and we're outfitted by Black Clover.
That's right, Dusty. And hey, just a reminder, right, for any of you looking to maybe refresh your wardrobe, check out blackcloverusa.com. Use the promo code DNR20 to get 20% off your first order from Black Clover. Got a full lines of men and women's gear, hats. We've talked a lot about the hats. I love my Black Clover hats, and folks tell you feel comfortable and cool, and great lineup at blackcloverusa.com. Again, that promo code DNR20 for 20% off.
You know, and not all their stuff come with collars either. We usually like sweatshirts. I love this shirt. And yeah, go to blackcloverusa.com, and we want to thank Black Clover. They've been a great sponsor and a partner for us, and they will be for you as well. And of course, we mentioned too, if you own businesses, need to get gear for your troops, hit us up. We're going to help you out and get you the right people, get you great pricing on that gear as well. Well, the regular season is in the books.
Yep.
And it means there's only one thing we can do.
We made it.
We did. We made it. Week 4. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
But let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go to the opening statement brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. And as always, we talk about, we only bring people on this show right now that we work with personally. And Justin Heidemann and his associates, we both use them, we both trust them, and they'll always take care of you. Even though if you mention us or not, they'll still take care of you.
Yeah, and if you do mention us, you'll get a free consultation from Heidemann and Associates. Full service law firm, whether you need to set up a business, a living will and trust, maybe you have a local dispute or something that you just feel like you weren't, someone wasn't truthful with you on it.
Up and up. Yep.
Give them a call, 801-754-4240, or visit them at utah.law to learn more about the services available from Justin Heidemann and Associates.
Well, we thought we'd start here because it's certainly what we're all talking about. We get through the regular season, and what starts on Friday? Well, the state tournaments start on Friday in football, and we're going to change things up a little bit. Since Dane only likes to talk about 6A, I thought I would be the man. We'll start with 2A, shall we?
Let's
talk
do
about the 2A. The number one team out of 2A, well, they are 2A. There's a young man from West that took my thing about Kearns being Region 2.
Yeah.
Beaver is 2A until someone dethrones them. But Beaver comes in at number 1, Duchesne at number 2, Kanab comes number 3, and Enterprise at number 4. Just go through the top 4 there. But this 2A bracket, Dane, this is Beaver's world until someone else takes it from them.
Yeah, it is. And Dusty, really interesting when you look at some of the matchups here in this 2A tournament. How about North Summit, not getting a first round bye? That was one that I thought, would be kind of on the bubble there. They might not. They do not. So they're going to have to run through a full slate of a state tournament. That's a North Summit team that's been better this year.
Yeah.
But it's still been some ups and downs for the Braves. And, can they put together a big playoff run? Going to be interesting to see. I'll tell you what, Parowan and Gunnison Valley going to be interesting as well. And how about the Milford men, huh? Look, I know they weren't a top 2 or 3 seed in this year's state tournament, but you know what I found out this week? You ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
Here's your 2A fun fact. Do you realize that 2 out of the top 10 tacklers in the state are both Milford men?
Wow.
That's right. They know how to play defense. Watch out for Milford. I know it was a bit of an up and down year for them. I think that offense certainly hasn't been has been the last couple of years when you have a Pac-12 quarterback, slinging it for the Tigers. But watch out. They've still got a lot of good receivers. We've talked a lot about BB. Hardy's had a good year. Barnes as well, the younger brother. A lot of playmakers for that Milford team. They could still make a run in this. But you're right. Beaver, the number 1 seed, they're the team to beat in 2A.
Yeah, I think one of the fun matchups we're going to see in this tournament is going to be Milford and Kanab. Little Hollywood taking on the Milford Tigers potentially in the second round as Milford takes on Monticello in the first round. That's going to be a fun first matchup.
Yeah.
But it's going to be who's going to prove to be enough with Beaver, because the winning differential for Beaver against 2A is pretty astounding.
Yeah.
And but we'll talk more about 2A as we go along. In 3A, first of all, if nothing else about Carbon, we are people of integrity. Very sad, the Dinos, but I also understand it. When the seasons aren't going the way it is, travel and everything else, why go through one more thing? And Carbon and Grand both said, no, we're not going to participate in the state tournament, and let's allow other teams to move on. And I'll tip my cap to that,
Yeah.
You understand it. But this 3A tournament, number 1 team for the second year in a row, Juab.
Man, they've been so tough this year, huh? And
I guess they were the 2 seed last year. Take it back.
That's right. Yeah,
they beat North Sanpete, but North Sanpete was number 1.
Yeah. Man, what a year this year for Juab. And, I know I took it on the chops, week 5 or week 6, going against the Wasps. No more, right? Like, Juab is the team to beat. But, Dusty, you look at this bracket. How about North Sanpete falling to a 5 seed? And, obviously losing Bulls. I know they still, won some games with his back. We'll talk about their game this last week. They've got a sophomore there that's slinging it. And, but that North Sanpete team is going to be a team to watch, especially once Bulls gets back.
Yeah.
And I think that they still got one more week. I think
potentially it was correct. 2 to 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so one more week where they got to get through it. And, they're playing Delta. Always got to watch out for the Wabbits.
Yeah, it's an old Region 8 matchup.
Yeah. But how about San Juan at 8 seed? I was surprised to see them that low because this Bronco team is really, really good. They had to grit one out this week, but they did so. That was a little surprising to me. And then Juan Diego coming in at a 7. This is a team that's playing much better than a 7 seed as of late. This 3A classification, Dusty, we've seen a lot of different ebbs and flows over the course of this year. I think this state tournament, Juab is the team to beat. This feels like it could be wide open. You could have some teams that got off to really rough starts, finding themselves in the semifinal or the championship just because of how the season's been able to progress.
Well, let's talk about it, too. First of all, there's only one bye. With Carbon and Grant dropping out, you only have one bye. So Juab gets the bye. Morgan, the reigning champion, by the way, the reigning 3A champion, coming in at number 2. Summit Academy, number 3. Richfield, 4. North Sanpete, 5. Grantsville, 6. And then what you mentioned, Juan Diego at 7. San Juan at 8. Manti, 9. And South Summit at 10. And it's going to be interesting to watch where that goes because round 2, it's either Juab playing against another Region 14 team in Manti or San Juan. That's a fun matchup. If it's San Juan, San Juan Juab, that's going to be a very interesting matchup because Juab went all over Manti in the regular season matchup. And then as you look down a little bit further, Grantsville and Emery. That's a fun game.
Yeah.
This 3A bracket is very, very evened out.
Emery took San Juan to the ringer on Friday night, and they lost that game. They're an 11 seed, but this is not a gloss-over game for Grantsville. And how about this? Dusty, if the favorites win in the first round, you know what we get in the second round? Summit Academy and Grantsville. Remember that one that was just slanted for the Cowboys this year? Can Coach Hamilton get back to a chance to maybe lay a little retribution against his former employer? Not that it's personal, but,
It's business.
Yeah.
It's never personal.
Could be a fun matchup. A couple fun matchups.
Only business, Sonny. Let's go to the 4A bracket. And 4A, this one's a little different. Yeah. We've got a multitude of buys. Is Skyview, Dixie, Cedar. How about this? Dixie and Cedar for second round already set up to play in the second round.
Yeah.
They get a bye, kind of. Ridgeline, Park City, Pineview, and then Bear River, Green Canyon. Hello.
Good one.
Yeah, that was a blast in the regular season. And then Snow Canyon and Stansbury all get first-round byes. So it means the first-round matchups, Desert Hills, Mountain Crest, Cedar Valley, Tooele. Cedar Valley's playing some good football. Really took Park City to all that they could handle.
Yeah.
Ogden, Ben Lomond, Part D, back-to-back weeks. Crimson Cliffs, Canyon View, Logan Hurricane, and Mount View, Uinta all playing this week.
You ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
Here's your 4A fun fact, Dusty. We talked about Ogden and Ben Lomond just played this last week, right? That was a 6-point win for Ogden. 8-point win for Ogden. My apologies. It's a Saturday. I don't do math. You want to know who the state's leading rusher is, Dusty?
Who is it?
Logan Shobe out of Ogden by 12 whole yards.
He got Ferguson?
Hey, every yard counts by 12 yards. According to Deseret News, by 12 yards. Every yard counts. Shobe, the state's leading rusher. I'll tell you what, though, if I'm Ben Lomond, I want that rematch. Yeah. Because it's been a year where they've got some, they've had some progress this year. There's been a perennial kind of 0-1, 2-win team, and this year you've started to see some strides for the Scots. Play Ogden close, and that game was at Ogden. It's going to be at Ogden again in this playoff matchup, but you get another opportunity, sign me up, man. Yeah. This is going to be a really sneaky game in the first round in 4A.
Can I tell you couple matchups in that bottom of that bracket?
Yeah.
A potential Pineview Green Canyon game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then also Snow Canyon Stansbury. Yeah, there's a lot of fun ones. And the semifinals could be that Snow Canyon Pineview Part 2. Yeah. As you mentioned, Ridgeline Skyview Part 2 as well. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. 4A is wide open. We'll pick some champions later. Didn't want to do that all here on this one. All right, in 5A, here's your again, kind of the same setup as 4A. Yeah. Brighton gets a first round by the number 1 overall seed. Timpview and Olympus. That's going to be a fun one.
Yes, it is.
Timpview, we'll try to figure out a little bit more after what happened in their game against Stansbury this week, but Tia's Tribe will take on Olympus in the second round on October 30th. And then Salem Hills gets a first round bye. Wasatch a first round bye. Orem comes in. Hey, how about some improvement for the reigning 5A champion? They were the 12 seed last year. They're the 2 seed this year without having played for a month. Get the 2 seed. I don't think that's a formula for success.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there. Skyline comes in at number 7. Bonneville at number 3. Congratulations, Lakers. And Maple Mountain comes in at number 6, all getting first-round byes, meaning the first-round matchups. Highland, Spanish Fork, always going to be a close game. Box Elder, Woods Cross, old school. Lehigh, Viewmont. Mountain Ridge, Provo. Bountiful, Hillcrest. Alta, Farmington. And Springville, Murray.
There you go. There's your 5A bracket. Dusty, I mean, you look at this bracket. We talk about some of the teams on a bye and some of the teams that, will have kind of push through to second round. That Timview Olympus matchup, I'm with you. I think that's a really fun second round matchup. But you look at some of these first round games, and how about Spanish Fork and Highland, right? I mean, this Highland team, Dusty, this year's been a bit of a struggle. We've talked about, obviously, with COVID and not having a full summer and preseason and all that going. What can they put together for Spanish Fork? This is a team that we talk about how good the offense has been, Dusty, but they've lost a lot of 49-42s. They did it this week.
Yep.
A lot of high-scoring battles. Can Highland find enough offense to outscore the Dons? Because Spanish Fork is going to put up points. Can Highland match it? I think that is actually a game for an upset, according to seedings. It's just by 1, but it would be. That's one to keep your eye on in the first round here in 5A.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's go through the ranking real quick. Brighton, Orem, Bonneville, Salem Hills, Wasatch. Just go top 5.
Yeah.
Thought that's very interesting to see how that shook out because just a lot of different changes. Interesting to see how much movement there was in that last week. I mean, Skyline came in. They were number 2 coming into the week. The last time we saw the RPI drop all the way to 7 after that loss. And
just to clarify, he did say Bonneville at number 3. Good on you, Lakers. How about the year for Bonneville?
Hey,
Love it.
Let's hit the way back machine, shall we?
Watch out for the Lakers. The Lakers of Bonneville High School. Samuels graduated. He was their quarterback. I think you're probably going to see Best come in. I think he's coming back. Had some PT last year at quarterback. Shaw is coming back, was a running back, receiver, Dixon as well. 6 games is the most games they've won. That's how many they won last year since 2009. 6 is the most wins in a season since 2009. I think they could eclipse that this year. I like the Lakers.
See, Dane talked about it first. That was all the way back in August, folks.
I got one.
We weren't even in the same room then. Look how different things are.
Yeah.
Dane had to build some plexiglass first. Let's go to 6A.
I was a little slow on that.
Let's go to 6A. Corner Canyon, number 1. Yeah.
Any doubt?
What?
Any doubt?
No.
All right.
I think it would have been more talking points if it had been. Lone Peak, number 2. Skyridge, number 3. American Fork, number 4. How about that loss to West? Only moved Kearns down 1 slot. Yeah. Kearns at number 5. Weber at number 6. Roy 7. PG 8. Bingham 9. And I want to make sure we did this because West beat Kearns, but they are number 10. But that's not why. It's not why, because Kearns also lost to Hunter. There's different things in there.
Well, if you want to gripe, Dusty, let's gripe.
All right.
Let's go to the bottom of this sucker, huh? In 6A, the principals voted to only have 24 teams allowed. There's 27 in the classification, so you have 3 teams that did not qualify for the state tournament, that being Northridge, Taylorsville, and Cypress. You know who finished at 26? Granger. We did that game, 10-0 Cypress. So you want to gripe, there you go. There's an opportunity.
There's your gripe.
Thank you, analytics.
We can pick nits on that. I'll give you a nit. I'll give you a nit on that one. But other than that, I mean, honestly, there really is not a whole lot to go through on this one. But let's talk about some of the first-round matchups. Hunter and Westlake. Okay, Westlake, the argument had always been, hey, if all these teams got in, this is what happens. Here's your chance. Coach Louis Wong and the Thunder, you're in, you get a chance. Your reward would be able to play Corner Canyon the second time.
So what kind of chance is that?
Bingham and Granger back to a little bit of full strength. Some quarterbacks coming back. They play into Pleasant Grove. Fremont Copper Hills plays into American Fork. East does not get a first-round bye. East and Clearfield to play into Kearns. Riverton Layton playing into Lone Peak. West and Jordan play into Roy. Roy does get a first-round bye, even though they had the loss against Weber for the Region 1 championship, or outright championship. Harriman West Jordan play into Skyridge, and Davis Syracuse play into Weber.
Yeah, really a first-round matchup, Dusty, that on paper at least wouldn't seem like a lot of these games are going to have some close contests. It feels like there are some favorites in some of these. You talk about that Hunter and Westlake game, and I know Westlake, tough going in Region 4 this year, but remember, they were undefeated outside of Region play. So, and that Hunter team has been playing really well. I mean, they were within 14 of Kearns, had an early region loss by 7 to West Jordan. They
beat West to beat Kearns.
I mean, they throttled Taylorsville and Cypress. And so, you look at this Hunter team, and could they put up a battle against Westlake? Well, they could. Going to be at Hunter. That'll be an interesting first-round game. But, Davis-Syracuse, been a tough year for Syracuse this year, having to replace so much talent. They graduated last year. Davis, it's a home region contest. That hasn't boded well for the Darts this year. I know it's in the playoffs. Hopefully that offense can get back on track here in the first round. And, you look at some of these other games, be interesting to see. But, yeah, it's kind of not a lot of drama in the first round of the 6A bracket.
No, it's not. I think the biggest thing that Weber says is thank you, Layton, for not being on our side of the bracket.
No kidding, huh?
They got them twice. But congratulations to all these teams that got the first round buys. That's really what the new thing is, right? It's not just about winning region. Is do you get a buy? And the ones who got it, got it. And but anyway, there's your brackets. We're going to go watch the schedule video. We're going to pick some of the best first round games and pick those. And by the way, coaches, I know we're probably putting this out a little bit later. If you do second round games, you space them out. We can probably get every one of your games up on Deseret News.
3 and 7.
Yeah. We do 2. Yeah, we do a 3 and 7. We can take care of you.
Take care of it.
We can do up to 10 to 12 games a week.
Yeah.
Be happy to do it.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get to it. Our game of the week, we're here at Weber. Why? Because the Weber Warriors took on Roy. For Roy, if they won, it was an outright Region 1 championship. If Weber won, it'd be a shared Region 1 championship.
Yeah, and this Weber team, we talked about the loss to Layton earlier in the year, having to dig out of that, having to play Fremont, Davis, and now Roy. And, Dusty, my opinion, Weber came out and they looked sharp as they could be, right? I mean, opening drive, had a couple penalties they had to dig out of. They're able to actually get down and score on the opening drive. Lindsay to Hall from 18 yards out, midway through the first quarter, it's 7-0 Weber. Roy's drive, how about this, Dusty? Roy fumbles the football. It's the first turnover all year for this Roy offense, comes in a region championship game, as it would be a short field for Weber. That being said, Weber wouldn't be able to convert. Roy would get the ball back, and Roy able to move the ball down the field. Ends up getting stopped by this Weber defense, which set up a 40-yard field goal try. And, Spencer Hall with a block and cannon to freeze takes this 65 yards to the house. It's 14-0 Weber. That Weber defense continued to stymie Roy all afternoon. And then Weber offensively, Jake Lindsay, a 44-yard touchdown run, makes it 21-0 at the break for the Warriors. Third quarter, Lindsay back to the air, finding DeFreeze, 47 yards out. The second touchdown of the day for DeFreeze. Lloyd would have a touchdown run in the third. It is all Weber. A late touchdown from Kingston to Thusen for Roy would prevent the shutout. But Dusty, 35-8, Weber takes care of business at home. They share the region title. They win back the Shield, and they beat their rival, the Roy Royals, in a big win for this junior group of Weber Warriors heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, we had Weber coaches giving us a little bit of guff. If you're doing region rings or something, yeah, people picked Roy.
We'll take credit for motivation, huh?
We'll wear that one proudly.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Hey, we're happy to provide bulletin board material.
Hey, whatever
Not the first
helps.
time.
Whatever helps. Congratulations to Weber. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens in the 6A bracket, as they'll play, as we mentioned earlier, they get a first round bye. They'll take on a Region 1 foe. Could be a rematch of that classic game against Davis in the second round. All right, let's get to it. Best of 6A. I'll start first. Hey, do you know how many regular season games Eric Harris lost at Corner Canyon?
I think I do.
Ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
0. 4 straight years. He's coached 4 years at Corner Canyon. He has yet to lose a regular season game. In fact, he's only lost 1 game, and that came in the semis. But 4 regular seasons in a row, undefeated for Corner Canyon, as it was all Corner Canyon in the game against American Fork, 53-32. Jackson Dart threw 6 touchdown passes. Maddox Madsen still had a good night. Noah Kerr hauled in 3 of Dart's touchdown passes, putting him number 2 all time, passing Spencer Curtis, now just behind Puka Nakua. All he's got to do for the next 3 games is average 4 touchdowns a game. If he does, he ties Puka.
Come on, Noah.
Jackson, if you really care about being a team player, just joking. I'm just joking. But Noah leading a lot of categories in the country. Thank you, Grandpa Hunter, for letting us know that. appreciate it. Cody Hagan also had a couple touchdown catches as well, because if you throw the ball to Cody Hagan, nearly 50% of the time, it will be a touchdown.
Yes, that is true. We learned that last week here on Deseret News Rewind. My best of 6A, Dusty, I want winners. Do you know how many regions had an outright region champion in 6A?
I don't know. Only Region 4.
Only Region 4. East and Bingham tying in Region 3. West and Kearns tying in Region 2. Weber and Roy tying in Region 1. How about that, huh? A year that most people didn't think we'd get through. We have shared region titles in 3 of the 4 regions. And the one that's the most surprising, we talked about last year, West. I mean, what a job by the West Panthers this year. And we said, just the 10 seed in the RPI. And yeah, that's probably one that you could look at the math and make sure you carried the 6 on. But congratulations to the West Panthers. I think their first region title since '96, if I recall, Dusty.
I think it's right.
It's been a long time.
That was Gene Plaga, yeah. Still
and
coaching.
it might be a shared, but it don't matter. Region champion for West and co-region champs in 3 of the 4 regions. Just speaks to how competitive of a year it was in 6A. I know it's kind of corner canyon. There's a couple teams right there. Below that, there's a lot of parity, and been a fun year. Congratulations to all of the co-region champs in 6A this year.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I like the fun fact on that one. Best of 5A. Just because you're down 28-7 in the 4th quarter does not mean you don't keep swinging. Jarrett Elmer and the Salem Hill Skyhawks found themselves in a 28-7 deficit. He came back firing 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Austin Hollows, and but it just was not enough. We'll bring this game up a little bit later. Tied at 28. We go to overtime. Maple Mountain in overtime. It was Tyler Nelson getting in the end zone as Maple Mountain able to hold off Salem Hills in overtime, getting a 35-28 win over Salem Hills.
You know what we have a lot of today? Fun facts! How about this, Dusty? Elmer threw 2 interceptions, both of them in the overtimes.
All right.
Bess and Bliss with the interceptions, Bliss with the game winner for that Maple Mountain defense. And I talked about, I tend to ride with defense. Hey, Maple Mountain, your defense showed me something. Congratulations on a big win over Salem Hills.
We watched that game in studio.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun on Wednesday.
My best of 5A, Dusty, no lead is safe in Region 8 because Springville had a big lead on Wasatch. They led 12-0 in this ballgame. How about a 15-0 4th quarter for the Wasps as Parker North has 2 rushing touchdowns. The first Region 8 title for the Wasatch Wasps. Congratulations, Wasatch. Their last region title came in 07, back when they were in Region 10. So I think also the first region championship in 5A. Wasatch, heck of a year. Congratulations on a shared Region 8 championship with Maple Mountain.
The Fighting Coburns.
Yeah, huh?
The Fighting Coburns getting the job done. Best of the rest? Well, Mrs. Nielsen, you can be really nice to those San Juan Broncos. How about this crazy first half between San Juan and Emery? San Juan rather, went up by 12. And then how about my old nemesis? The Emery Spartans came flying back. But Cooper Black scored 78 yards in the 4th quarter. That was a pass from James Palmers, who had 5 touchdowns on the night, the quarterback for San Juan. And the rest of the game would prove to be a defensive battle. As Emery, although they put up a big fight early, just didn't have enough. But let's give some of these guys some love. Jensen Glover had a big night, 11-yard run. Also had a 28-yard run. Jackson Madsen had 27-yard catch from Riker Jensen from Emery, by the way. But it was Josh Olson, 28 pass from Riker Jensen as well. But in the end, in that 3rd quarter and then the 4th quarter, Jace Palmer, 6-yard run. And then Cooper Black, we mentioned earlier, the 78-yard touchdown catch from Jace Black as San Juan took care of business.
Yeah. And Emery threw an interception on a late drive to try to take a lead or tie. Congratulations to the Broncos. Hey, how about mine? Best of the rest here, right?
Yep.
I'm actually shocked you didn't take this one, quite frankly. Stansbury, the Stallions. My goodness. Timpview, a late scheduled game. Timpview heads out to take on Stansbury, Dusty. And my goodness, Timpview started off this game with an early lead, and the Stallions just clawed back. And that Timpview defense found out just how difficult Crew Huxford is to defend. On the game, Huxford had 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. They scored the last 21 points of the ball game, 49-31 for the Stallions. And how about this, Dusty? Another fun fact. Stansbury now joins the elite company of Fremont. Those are the only 2 teams since 1970 that are 1-0 against Timpview.
Really?
Only 2 teams that Timpview has played and has not beaten, Fremont and now Stansbury. Watch out in 4A. The Stallions are on a run.
I'm gonna pretend you asked me if I'm gonna pretend you asked me if I like fun facts. I love fun facts.
That's a fun one, eh?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Wild Stallions out in Stansbury. That's a good one. If there's other ones, hit us up. But also, let's get right to it. Let's go to the quick hits brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. And Dane, this is just a crazy week. We got to go through 3 days. Remember who played when and who went where. How about an interesting game, Orem and Lehigh. Orem had not played in a month. The whole month of September, they got to sit on their laurels and just wait for someone to come play them. Well, they get a region game, and I tell you what, this was a fun one. Micah Fea had himself a pretty good night, up and down, as you can only expect. Had a couple of turnovers, but able to bounce back. But it was Joe Smith, the 5-yard run that proved to be enough of a difference as Orem able to hang on 31-28 over Lehigh. A big charge from Lehigh late, wasn't able to quite get it done. A really tough one is Creighton Cooper. I knew it wasn't do it. Creighton Cooper had what he thought would be a touchdown run, brought back, or actually just stepped out of bounds, brought that one back, and just was not enough for Lehigh to come back against Orem. Coach Gabe Sewell getting a big win. We mentioned Orem number 2 in the 5A state tournament.
You know who you don't want to play mad, Dusty? Skyridge. Hey, look, I know the way things went last week. Westlake, I'm sorry, man. Sometimes the schedule just is not in your favor. We're not going to get into details other than, Hillstead had 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns, and he was done by the middle of the third quarter. 70-plus points put up by Skyridge, and playoffs could not come at a better time for Coach Lehman and his group.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a saying in in Super Bowl 18 when the Raiders beat the Redskins. They handed us our rears on a silver platter, and the platter was bent. Yeah. So Joe Theismann said after the Raiders beat him on Black Sunday. Let's go to Cedar Valley and Park City. This was a back-and-forth game. Cedar Valley jumped out early. Mousy had a 2-yard run, but Park City put 3 straight scores up. Seth Warner, a 5-yard touchdown. DeMarco had a 20-yard field goal, and then Seth Warner had a 12-yard touchdown. And Park City from Carson Tabarachi had the ceiling win or score to win this one 24-21 over Cedar Valley.
And great showing by Cedar Valley. How about Clearfield and Layton, Dusty? The Falcons getting a nice 28-17 win. It was a 14-0 fourth quarter. Falcons had to come from behind in that battle to pull off the victory. They do it. Kai Worth had 2 rushing touchdowns to lift the Falcons over the Lancers.
Hey, all you need to do is see the ball go through the hoop, ball fall in the hole, or get a win on the left side of the column in the standings, and things just change. Woods Cross goes from winless to 2 wins in just 2 weeks after bumping their head against the ceiling, finally coming through back-to-back weeks. Austin Bradley had 2 clinching field goals down the stretch, but Seymour and Hess both had touchdowns. How about Griffin Hess all of a sudden he becomes, what is this? He's Mike Allstott? He's Zach Crockett? What is this? If he touches the ball, it's a touchdown. But Woods Cross gets a 20-10 win against Mountain View.
I was wondering where you were going there. I was like, it's not basketball season.
Just need to see the ball go through the hoop.
I got it. Hey, how about Bountiful and Viewmont, a rivalry game? And Dusty, early on, Bountiful had a couple of early turnovers that Viewmont was able to create, but the Braves able to respond positively as Cottle had 2 rushing touchdowns, Du Bois had a rushing touchdown, and a 38-7 shellacking by Bountiful.
Farmington, just not the season they thought they were going to have this year. Go out to Plain City, and this one was a pretty interesting game. Farmington jumped out early. It was Jensen had a field goal, then Cannon Colford with a 4-yard run. But Boston Reinhold scores. You think, oh, this can be a little bit different. No, Kyler Cotter had an 18-yard run and then a safety in the end, and it was Fremont, the Silver Wolves, taking on this game late to beat Farmington 16-10.
How about Ogden and Ben Lomond? We talked about this game a little bit earlier. 32-24 for the Tigers at home. Logan Shobe, what a night for him. 17 carries, 160 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Also had a 90-yard kickoff return to help lift the Tigers over their rival, the Scots.
Hey, just because you can score 48 points doesn't mean you have to win. As Lone Peak, we talked about the win against American Fork last week. Kind of felt they found some things. Well, it looked a little different. PG came out to play, trying to get off of the Region 4 schneid a little bit, as they had that win against Westlake the week before. But it was just different. Isaac Vaha, congratulations coming into Utah, Isaac. Had a touchdown. And by the way, I talked earlier about Hess. Who does he think he is? Luke Durfee is Mike Allstott. Luke Durfee comes in the game, and it's Luke Durfee up the gut. I'm going to start doing that one. Luke Durfee, 8-yard touchdown run, and then a 13-yard touchdown run. Because if he comes in, by the way, he's running a dive. You just might be diving at his feet.
Don't give it away, Dusty. Come on.
You might dive at his feet and just pray that he doesn't crush you.
Yeah.
But yeah, James Palmer runs a corner route from the slot. Luke Durfee runs a dive, but he comes in the pistol. But Lone Peak wins 22-7. Congratulations to the Knights.
That's next level analysis. You only get it free right here on Deseret News Rewind.
Hey, we're not a subscription site.
How about North Sanpete, Dusty? Playing Union, we talked about the injury to Bulls. How about Tyler Allen? You know, last week against Manti, a loss. He threw for 297 yards, had 3 touchdowns that game, a lot of interceptions, led to the undoing for the Hawks. This week, oh man, the sophomore was on point. 25 of 34, 304 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a big win for North Sanpete. 41-14 as Boone Latham had 2 passing touchdowns in the loss for the Cougs.
The 2 newest schools in St. George did battle, and this was an interesting one. You think Desert Hills, the way Crimson Cliffs season had gone, Desert Hills was struggling a little bit too. Jumped out early with a lead. Crimson Cliffs 2 touchdowns as Trace Hagan had a 70-yard catch and run from Chase Hansen. Not that Chase Hansen, a new Chase Hansen. Hit a field goal later, but it was Austin Turnbow, a 36-yard touchdown catch from Noah Fulatolo. And then just heartbreak from Crimson Cliffs. Thought they had a big catch down the sideline, reminiscent of week 1 against Manti. Just couldn't quite haul it in. And it was Desert Hills winning 14-10 over the Crimson Cliffs. They've got a couple of Carbon County connections coming up here in the next few years. Pretty excited about that one.
Everyone's excited about that one. How about hey, let's just fast forward to like the last 5 minutes of the game, huh? North Sanpete and Kanab. My goodness. North Sanpete kicks a field goal, go up 3-0. Kanab goes down and scores a touchdown, Dusty. And it looks like
it was an offensive juggernaut.
The Cowboys going to take care of this game was scoreless through the first half, I think through the first 3 quarters. And then North Summit, they're marching down the field. Dusty going to try to kick a game-tying field goal with the clock to expire. Oh no, fire, fire, fire. How about this? The pass thrown down and just shy of the end zone. What would have been a game-winning touchdown on a broken field goal try for North Summit falls just short, and Kanab sneaks out a 6-3 win.
Oh my heavens, that was a fun one. We watched that one in studio too. How about a old rivalry renewed? Skyline and Olympus. Skyline comes in, well, last week, seen the RPI number 2 in the RPI. Olympus been a little up and down here for Coach Whitehead, which you can expect as you've gone such a strong run for the Titans. But here's one thing you know, Peyton Rice is going to show up, had a 2-yard run and then a 4-yard catch from Tommy Hogan. But it was Tommy Hogan in the end getting a 1-yard plunge for Olympus with 5 seconds left in the 4th quarter as Olympus knocks off Skyline 28-21. Bolingbroke had himself a night, but it just was not quite enough. He and Hudson Manwaring connecting for 2 touchdown passes. Just not enough for Skyline as they fall to Olympus.
Hogan said in post-game interview that was a broken play. Well, the best that thing could break, huh? How about Richfield and Grand, Dusty? And Giddings had 3 rushing touchdowns, 48-27 for Richfield. But the real reason why I brought this game up, how about, according to our research department, Richfield, their first region championship. Maybe since 1988, Dusty.
85. Shared championship in 88.
85? All right.
Note from last week. That's
apparently
okay. Apparently
our research department needs to pick it up a bit.
The interns really need to help you out. Preston,
come on, man.
Really step it up this week. You have one more?
I got one more.
Okay.
How about Mountain Ridge and Spanish Fork? We talked about the Dons.
What am I thinking?
Look, they score in bunches. They put up 42 points in this ball game. Problem was, Mountain Ridge put up 49. It was 21-7 4th quarter for the Sentinels in this one. Aiden Helm, 2 touchdown passes in 75 seconds. That's what we call efficiency right there, including the game-winning 10-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Day. Threw for 260-plus yards,
wow.
3 passing touchdowns. Aiden Helm going off in a big win for Mountain Ridge.
You play against Spanish Fork? It's going to be close.
Yeah.
Coach Smith,
Springville.
Springville, that's right. All right, let's go to our Riley Jensen Mental Performance Moment of the Week. Talked about it earlier. Trailing 28-7. Salem Hills comes back to tie the game, to force the game to overtime at 28. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sometimes in life you got a 21-point lead and you might cough it up, but it's what are you gonna do next? Maple Mountain able to, 1, get an interception in the first part of overtime. Then it was Nelson going in for the score, and then another interception to seal the game for Maple Mountain, getting a shared Region 8 championship. But if you want to learn how to bounce back, we're going to cough up leads. Someone who's there for you is Riley Jensen.
Yeah, and we've known Riley for a long time, former D1 quarterback and quarterback coach in the state for a couple of high schools, and now he can coach you in your life, whether it's in the boardroom, with your family, in your career, whatever it is. He's going to help you be better. And all sorts of analogies that he'll use. Pressure is a privilege, and to learn more, to benefit from Riley Jensen's consulting, how he can help you, check out RileyJensenConsulting.com to schedule your appointment with Riley Jensen now.
You don't have to just take our word for it. Utah State, Weber State, Real Salt Lake, the whole organization, not just the team, whole organization working with Riley Jensen. Now, congratulations to Riley on those as well. Let's get to our Black Clover looking good performers of the week. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Up to you.
Fine, I'll go first.
I'll go first.
Oh, you go first.
All right.
You hang up.
Look. No, you hang up. In true Dane Stewart fashion, there's only one thing I can do on the last week of the year for my looking good. How about the Harriman defense, Dusty? They shut out Riverton, number one, but number two, you have two scooping scores in this ball game. Austin McMillan, Dominic Mitchell, both with fumbles recovered and returned to the house. Only touchdown scored came from the defense for the Harriman Mustangs in a 17-0 win. Congratulations to Austin McMillan and Dominic Mitchell, my Black Clover looking good performers of the week.
No, you hang up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go Dane Stewart on this one too. How about that? First of all, we're at Weber, and we talk about this kid a ton. No relation to Dallin Hall, but he'll get love anyway. Spencer Hall, a touchdown catch on the first drive of the game. How about this? The fumble recovery on the next possession, on the first possession for Roy, the first turnover of the year for Roy, and then a blocked field goal that leads to a Cannon DeFries scoop and score. But you know me, that's not enough. I mentioned Dallin Hall. Why? Because when you're a teacher's pet for Dusty Litster, you're a teacher's pet for life. Noah Kerr, how about this? He goes from the beginning of the year, and I've talked about this kid for 4 years now, and watch where he's grown from. Talked about, hey, go past Cody Raymond. He took down Mr. Beat Digger, and then he took down the guy who took down Mr. Beat Digger this week in Spencer Curtis, and now is second all-time in career touchdown receptions. He also has a bunch of other ones as well. I think he's now the leader in receptions for career all-time, and Noah's been looking good for 4 years, but he and Spencer Hall, my looking good here in the final week of the regular season.
Hey, Dusty, that's a good one. And by the way, Noah, congratulations. Offered this week by Weber State. Finally, about time.
Well, congratulations to those who got those awards. Some things will be coming to you here in the very near future. If we missed anything, it's the final week of the regular season. I'm sure we did miss some stuff. We know we talked about a lot of things, but just hit us up on Twitter at Dane News Rewind, at Dane_Stewart, at Dusty Litster, and we will see you in the state tournaments. No one's bringing you more games than Deseret News Rewind. Check out our streams all throughout the state tournament, all the way through the 6A championship game. Actually, how about the 5A and 4A championship games? Because they're the last ones going. We'll be at all of them. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching Deseret News Rewind on Deseret.com.